Good evening. Today is Wednesday, May 26, 2021, and I call this special board meeting of the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees to order. It is exactly 8:01 p.m. Roll call. Ms. Janie Lopez,
Present.
Mr. Oscar Medrano, Mr. Rudy Corona,
Present.
Dr. Ariel Cruz,
Present.
Mr. Orlando Lopez,
Present.
Mr. Mario Silva,
Present.
Dr. Nate Carmen,
Present.
Mr. Stephen Weller,
Present. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
and myself. Right, moving on to 1.2, public comment. We have two public comments that came in this afternoon, and we begin with the first one. This first public comment comes from Ms. Alma Limon. This is in the subject area is agenda item 5.5, replacements of legal counsels from our last board meeting, and Ms. Limon states as follows. With the new SBCISD president and vice president, along with the board secretary and the other trustee, they are swiftly making questionable moves that are directly against what they supposedly ran for: transparency, integrity, and working at the best interest of San Benito students. Why the sudden move to terminate legal services with this particular law firm? Supposedly, the president of the board is bringing his legal team from Hidalgo County. Is that not a conflict of interest? Obviously, it is a political interest. Why do we want to replace something that is not broken? This firm has been here, SBCISD, for almost 6 years. There were no complaints or any issues that suggested they were incompetent. Were there any complaints, dissatisfactions, or any other reasons for dismissal? Why would you want to replace our legal team that has had our best interest exchanged for a legal team that we know nothing about? What are the qualifications of the replacement legal counsel firm? The change should be discussed by the whole board, not just the majority. Everyone needs to have an input on these delicate decisions. Again, I will remind you, Mr. Board President, these guys are from Hidalgo. Weren't you and your vice president the ones who objected out of county representatives? Don't be a hypocrite. Those were exact words from both of you. Citizen of San Benito, is this a perfect example of transparency and integrity? Respectfully, Alma. Thank you, Ms. Alma. Moving on to the next public comment on agenda 5.4, also from the previous board meeting. We have this one from Ms. Olivares. Restrictions on agenda item 5.4. This should have been read at the last meeting, but there was technical difficulty, so therefore, Mrs. Olivares wants this read at the next board meeting. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the school board, this type of restriction is insulting to our school superintendent at his capacity and only serves the purpose of it being a nuisance for his daily busy duties to run smoothly and keeping our district at an A financial rating. Never has the $50,000 been used or mismanaged for any other use than to better our school district on a day-to-day operation. The superintendent has the ability and knowledge on how to use our taxpayers' money at his discretion. He has done it for 4 years, and we have never had issues with overspending. He has carefully managed the wise spending and continues to save the school district thousands of dollars. I respectfully ask that you, the majority board, let the superintendent do his job. My question to you is, what do you plan to do with those $25,000 you are restricting him from using? Thank you, Mrs. Rosie Olivares. Mrs. Olivares, thank you for your public comment. Moving on to action agenda items. Action agenda item 2.1, discussion and possible action to approve resolution authorizing compensation due to emergency closure pursuant to policy DEA local. Dr. Carmen?
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. In front of you have for consideration a resolution regarding paying our hourly employees as a result of the district-wide school shutdown and facility shutdown on May 19th, 2021 due to these severe weather conditions. The reasoning for it is listed there in the resolution, but in a nutshell, we had some flash flooding. We were concerned that if we waited until later in the day, we might not be able to get our students home safely with our buses, and our employees might not be able to get home, would not be able to get home safely. Sorry. So we released people early. They got home safely, we believe. And this resolution simply authorizes the payment of all employees So they would not lose any salary from being sent home early due to conditions out of their control.
Would it be retroactive?
It would cover that day, May 19th.
Okay.
Dr. Carmen, this has been done before. This is not something new, correct?
No, that's correct. We did it back when we had the freeze. We've done it several times when we just sent our employees home due to bad weather.
Yeah, this is just a way so we can take care of our employees. Yeah, Doc, thank you, appreciate it.
That is right, Mr. Lopez, and I brought this up to Dr. Carmen about a week, right after the rains. We got some concerns from our district employees, and basically the concern is, you know, at this date and time, it's at the end of the school year, and having to make up these hours sometimes becomes a burden on them. And so, once again, like you mentioned, because we've done it before, I thought it'd be a good idea to bring it up once again to Dr. Carmen. And so, Dr. Carmen, thank you for reaching out to our legal counsel that put together this resolution.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Any questions?
Dr. Carmen, was anybody given the option of whether to leave or not leave? And I'm just asking because if some of them did stay, how is that gonna affect them if they did complete all their hours? Or is it not at all?
So I cannot speak for every employee. I know we sent out the message with times for everyone to leave. Did area supervisors allow their employees to stay? I don't have that information. I just know what we sent out from the district level, and there was a time for each campus employee to leave and for our district departments to leave.
Any further discussion? Okay, do I have a motion at this time?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Orlando Lopez to approve a resolution authorizing compensation due to emergency closure pursuant to policy DEA local. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a second by Rudy Corona. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Agenda item 2.2, discussion and possible action to approve purchases over $25,000. Dr. Carmen?
Mr. Moreno, yes, sir. We have 3 purchases we are bringing to the board for consideration. The first one is for janitorial supplies. Typically, we regularly use the Gulf Coast distributors for our supplies. And actually, when the amount changed 25, I'm anticipating that there could be difficulty getting it approved by the board, just due to the situation of employment with everybody, and how that might impact voting. We did get a second bid, and actually that bid came in a few $1,000s lower. So CC Distributors is who we're recommending to make that purchase from. This should give us the janitorial supplies until July. And at that point, Mr. Robert Pettis, who is here to answer any specific questions you might have, will bring forward his next purchase order for janitorial supplies. But the recommendation for those, for the janitorial supplies are for CC Distributors in the amount of $31,477.62. The other 2 purchases are technology-based, and these relate to the donation we received from the Elon Musk Foundation. We give our teachers the option, if you recall, of selecting either an iPad or they could update their laptop. 227 of our teachers would like the iPad. 429 would like the upgraded new Dell laptop. So those 2 purchases with Apple for the iPads, including the Apple Pencil and Smart Keyboard, come to $150,610. The 429 Dell laptops, the purchase from Dell, $491,646.87. So we have those 3 purchases over the $25,000 threshold. As I indicated, Mr. Pettis has waited patiently throughout the budget workshop. He's here to answer any questions you might have on the first purchase. And then Mrs. Vicki Pettis is here to answer any questions you might have on the iPads or the Dell laptops.
I open it up for discussion. Board members, anyone?
The chair to answer questions. I mean, you have the information, you have the quotes in board docs?
I have a question on the laptops, on the iPads. Are they gonna be distributed evenly with all the teachers or,
I got that.
and the
Ms.
Dell
Pettis.
laptops and the iPads?
They were given the choice of either a new iPad
Okay.
or replacing their Dell laptop. Each teacher was given their choice, and this is the result of those choices. So 227 wanted the iPad, 429 wanted a new laptop.
And if I recall correctly, I'm sorry, Ms. Vicky, those, I just wanted
like
to
it
see
up
you walk
here.
back and forth.
gonna
If
move
I
my
recall
chair.
correctly, those funds were completely exhausted on these computers, correct?
Correct. If you look at the front page of that, it's on a letterhead. On the bottom, it has a funding source. $607,000 was the donation, and that's out of our local funds, and then the rest of the $34,000 is coming out of the
The
instructional
instructional
materials allotment.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other questions for Ms. Vicky before she goes back?
I have a question for Mr. Perez.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you for being here today,
Glad
sir.
to be back.
So on the Gulf Coast, I noticed that the number of cases were more compared to the CC distributors. For example, on that first item there, it has 100 cases. You know, the next one says 500 cases and so forth. On the CC distributors, it has smaller amounts, 20 cases, 40 cases, 72 each, and so forth. So are the prices pretty comparable? I know that it's going to be less that's going to be paid out here, but is it comparable to how we were getting 100 cases or more? Are the prices comparable?
The prices are comparable. Again, if you're looking at the first two items, are looking at the trash bags in specific, because if you look at the number of cases that we have there, they should be, and they are equal across the board for everything that we're ordering, for both CC distributors and Gulf Coast. Now, you know, as far as pricing is concerned, it all depends on who you go with. You know, they may give you a cheaper price based on the requirements that you're asking them. But other than that,
I think the
comparable.
quantities are just in different locations on the quotes. On Gulf Coast, if you look under ordered, there are 210 cases of the first trash can, or trash bags.
Correct.
210, 128, 120 are the first four numbers. On the CC distributors, if you go to the left column, 210 cases, 210 cases, 128, 120. So at least the first four numbers are the same, but they're just in different locations. That might be part of the confusion.
Okay, I was looking at the first column on CC distributors, 20 cases, so forth. So you're saying,
Right, the first column on CC distributors, 210 cases, that's a zero. The second line, 200, yeah, it's
you're
hard.
looking at the first page, I was looking at the second page.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay.
So the Airworks Citrus Grove metered aerosol odor counteractant, 20 cases. So if we find that line,
I guess the important thing would be the unit price.
Yeah, I think they offered, if I'm mistaken, they offered 10 cases more at the price that they had. That was the only difference.
She
Because
found a better deal.
well, normally with Gulf Coast, what they do is they, you know, whatever they have available, if they want to up their quantities, even though we ask a certain quote, they'll do that sometimes. But I don't think it's comparable to the pricing we have across the board for everything we've got. So, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I noticed CC Distributors is from Corpus Christi. You won't have a problem coming from Corpus?
Well, I mean, that's where their brain firm is at, yes, sir. But they distribute here locally as well. Yeah. I mean, everything that we get, either whether it's local, is throughout the valley, so we'll do comparables, and they're also on our list as far as vendors are concerned, and they're already approved.
Any other questions for Mr. Pettis?
Thank you for providing these. I know this was the first time that we do a 25,000 and above PO, so Thank you for providing.
Not a problem, ma'am. I'm here to help.
Thank you,
Thank
sir,
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Pettis.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, so moving on, do I have a motion to approve these purchases over $25,000 as presented?
So move.
It has been moved by Mr. Orlando Lopez. Do I have a second? It has been seconded by Mr. Oscar Medrano. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Wait, what are we approving? We have to pick one, don't we?
No, there's two different purchases. The purchases over $25,000 for the products, and then the one for the computers.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, so again, it was motion by Mr. Orlando Lopez, seconded by Mr. Medrano. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries 7-0. Based on the information that I received by Dr. Carmen, we don't have any reason to go into executive session. So at this point, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Okay, Oscar Medrano moves to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, Mr. Corona, second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries, and we adjourn this meeting at exactly 8:16. Meeting adjourned.